his number started with 811, right? So I hit 9 to dial out, and for some reason I either missed the 8 or I didn't press it hard enough. 11 is the next digit. 911. And like I kept dialing, but for some reason it just like it went to 911 immediately. I think it's like you just dial 911 because you have to press call first, right? Like you're not pressing the number and looking at it on a screen. That's not how phones work. You would pick up the phone and dial and just fucking raw dog hope you hit the right numbers because
early
it'll be 2000s. Ringing. Early 2000s. 911. I keep typing in things, but apparently
you keep typing in 911.
No, I don't keep typing in 911. I typed 9 to get out, and then his number was 811-2404 or something like that. But I remember specifically the 811. Missed the 8. 11 is dialed, so it's the 3 numbers I just hit were 911. And I keep dialing the rest of the phone number, but it starts ringing immediately. I'm like, what? 911. What's your emergency? Jack?
God, you suck. Premiere's gonna be like, where is it going?
What is that? Does it like auto line up? Does it have like a thing that you can
you can literally select everything, right click, synchronize, pick the audio track that you want it to sample, and then it just like slides it into place.
Dude, I love all the shit that Premiere has now. Like, as someone who doesn't work with Premiere a ton, but still like sometimes does shit for it to like edit our YouTube videos, I find shit like I'll see TikToks or whatever that's like this a way to make this like, you know, dude, I'm gonna be, you're gonna laugh at me.
Okay.
You're gonna be like, oh, Nick, but it like a year ago, it took me up until a year ago. I love Premiere. I've been like, you know, fucking with videos and stuff for a while, and maybe a little more than a year ago, I just found out what ripple cuts were. I was like, you gotta be kidding me! I gotta cut this shit, and then I gotta fucking delete that, slide everything back. It was embarrassing, quite honestly, but goddamn, bro.
If it makes you feel better, I always just use the Avid default keyboard in Premiere. Okay. So I just use like extract. So I just set in and outs, hit X, and then it just gets rid of it and moves everything down.
That's kind of nice.
It's lovely.
That's nice. Damn. Well, sorry for not knowing about video editing. I'm learning.
It's okay.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 9.
I think it's 90.
90.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
shit.
Got a nice round number. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah. The beginning of the year gets busy for everyone, I think, and I am in 2 tennis leagues, and I will never do this again. I have realized.
Oh my God, you're in 2? I thought this was just 1.
I'm in 2 tennis leagues,
Holy
bro. Sometimes I'll have like
shit.
2 matches a day, and it's like it's really burning me out. I was like, oh my God, I love tennis. I would love to. I'm gonna join as many leagues as I can, and it just
was a mistake.
It was a mistake. It's completely burned me out. It's given me no time for my social life or activities that I enjoy. So I will only be doing 1 from here on out. Today, what have we got?
What is the name of this place, actually?
Hatch House.
Hatch House.
We've been wanting to get this for a while on the pod, but so we're recording early today, 2 hours earlier than we normally record, and because I have a fucking tennis match. This place, we've been wanting to get it for a while, but every time we try, it's closed because apparently it closes before noon. So, I mean, but it's very highly rated, and it just seems pretty simple. Egg sandwiches, eggs, bacon.
Hence
cheese,
Hatch House. Pretty just great branding all around.
Yeah, good branding. We'll see if it holds up. I'm really excited.
So Nicholas, what do you got for yourself today, my guy?
It's called a bacon aioli sandwich, and it's got a fried egg, it's got hash brown, it's got crispy bacon, and then it's got something called bacon aioli, which don't know necessarily.
They just like liquefy bacon.
Oh, bro, I
that's all it is.
So. We'll see. What'd you get?
Damn, I got a brioche bun.
Okay.
So it's basically a burger.
It's a burger.
Bacon, scrambled eggs, pepper jack cheese, and I believe that's it. It's just nice and simple.
Nice and simple. That's what I'm saying. These are like simple things, but I'm excited.
I also got a single hash brown that looks like they sent like the sous chef to McDonald's. Purchased a hash brown and then they put it in a box.
It doesn't even look like it looks like
it's straight up like look at this shit.
It doesn't even look like a McDonald's hash brown. That's crazy.
This is a Trader Joe's.
That's a Trader Joe's
right
frozen hash brown.
That's incredible.
I have those in my fridge. That's crazy. Cheers.
Boop. Wow, holy shit. They put a lot of fucking egg in that.
Yours is like overflowing with egg.
Yeah, it's 3 eggs.
Wow.
3 scrambled eggs.
I get 1 fried egg? That's crazy. I should have gone for scrambled.
Dude, I was thinking about the fried egg, but then I was like, it said 3, and I was like,
Yeah. You get more bang for your buck. I gotta try one more bite.
If I do it with fried egg, do you think they put 3 fried eggs on here?
There's no way. That'd be crazy though. Just like a stack.
Yeah. I also
Like pancakes.
I needed coffee, so I got this. One of those La Colombe coffee. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Someone write out the etymology of it in the comments below, please. But I got the triple, and I wasn't necessarily sure what it was. I figured it was going to be a triple shot, which I was like, that's a fucking lot. It is 175 milligrams of caffeine. It's 3 shots of espresso.
Wow.
I'm expecting this to be like kind of battery acidy. Yeah.
Is it dark? It's got like
No, it's a
sugar or
latte.
milk in it? Oh, okay.
So it's
latte.
like-
It's milk? Milky?
Tastes fine. Tastes like a latte. Tastes like
like
a
a latte.
canned latte.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. What's your verdict? What you feeling?
All right, let's see. I think this is one of those sandwiches, one of those meals that would greatly benefit from freshness. Like, you know, the crispiness has started to wear off and now it's just getting a little soggy.
Yeah.
The taste is really good. Like the flavors are all there. And I just think like maybe if it was a little warmer, a little more like right off the, hey, here you go. It would bump it up like an extra whole point for me, I think. Right now it's sitting at like a 7.5.
Yeah.
It's not bad. And again, like take it with a grain of salt because we had it delivered and all this stuff. But I do think that plays a lot into my rating.
Yeah. I feel like every time we always do the disclaimer of like you have to always kind of add either like half a point or a full point to what we say because of the delivery, like how it works. If we could do this like in their restaurant, 1, that would be a huge fucking like detriment to them. But
Right.
like 2, that would greatly improve the food overall. I was initially going to give this like a 6.5
Okay.
because like it just wasn't really tasting like anything. There's a lot of food here though, which I like very much appreciate. But it didn't really taste like anything. And then I got to like the quarter of this that actually has like some like aioli on it, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
It tastes really good. I also added the hash brown to the sandwich, which I think would have been a huge boon like for the sandwich overall.
Absolutely. They need something crunchy.
Yeah, like there needs to be like a textural difference because like the bacon helps, but there's not enough of the bacon to like give it to you. So like putting that on there really helps. Which I mean, I can't necessarily review it based on that because I made the change to
Exactly.
it. But yeah, I'd sit this at like a solid 7 right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Again, give or take
0.5 or
0.5 or 1 or so. But it's good. I mean, the brioche bun is toasted nicely. It's getting to that point where it's to be like getting a little more like pillowy. It's a little soggy and stuff
soft.
like that. But I don't think there was like, I think the smartness of having it be like melted cheese and stuff on top of it doesn't, and then also like searing the bun a little bit or at least toasting it probably on the flat top is like it kind of locks it in from soaking up too much.
Yeah, I agree.
So that really helps. But like, dude, adding the hash brown was like a big plus.
Hash browns and sandwiches are always a fucking move, dude.
Always good.
Always. Yeah, they maybe did have sausage stuff, but all their top ones were bacon. And like my qualm with bacon sandwiches is you get just with the sauce, you get a fucking patty when you get sausage. With bacon, you get like 3. I mean, it's just like a tenth of the meat that you get.
And the way that they always do it is they never like do it crossed enough to where like you get it in every bite. You get like a tiny bit every like other bite.
Yeah, they lay it down like railroad tracks.
Yeah,
it's kind of fucked. But
it's always annoying. But I am pleased with this. This would be a breakfast sandwich that I would get a significant amount of time, I think. Like this would be a place that I would go to regularly in the morning.
And the prices at the actual place are a little cheaper. So I think it's like on delivery it's $9, but I think it's like a $7 sandwich, $7.50.
Shit.
So like, not bad, truly.
For how much is in this,
Yeah.
Yep, that seems like a good
I think so too.
fair price to it.
Yeah, that's where the value is. It's from the amount of food. Not necessarily the quality, not necessarily like how well it's prepared, but the amount of food you get is for the price.
Which I think
great.
definitely needs to be considered, even if like the food overall doesn't taste incredible. I think for when it comes to like the amount that you get, that should always add a little bit more to the thinking because like, bro, food's expensive.
Dude, it is. There's this place called OK Chinese Food. It is in.
Is it good or is it just okay?
Well, here's the thing. I think it's for what it is. It's fucking incredible. For if you're just like looking at it completely objectively, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's like deep Van Nuys, way north.
Yep.
You go up there, and it's in like this strip mall, right? You go inside. I mean, the menu looks like it hasn't been replaced since it was, founded. No one in there is even Asian. Everyone there speaks Spanish. All the customers, all the people working there, all Spanish speaking. So you go in there, and their two big things are they have combo A and combo B, and then they have like basically like hot plates of like classic stuff, lo mein, fried rice, orange chicken, all that stuff, like beef and broccoli, all this stuff, right? Combo A is fried rice and lo mein and one entree, and combo B is fried rice, lo mein, and two entrees. And combo, I always get, I can't, dude. They give you like one of these, but like like a big styrofoam one. You can't close. They can't close it. They give you so much food. It's $11. It's $11, and I it takes me 3 sittings to finish the combo B. 3. It's and the food. Oh, I mean, like maybe I think the price is probably playing into me being like it's so good, but it's like it's good, dude.
It can influence a decision pretty heavily.
Yeah. $11. You like literally they like struggle to close that.
They've
shit.
got a guy in the back whose whole job is just fucking closing the containers. Yeah. He's just like the largest man you've ever seen.
It's incredible. Highly recommend. It's just a little hole in the wall. It's crazy.
There's a Chinese place that Megan and I always order too. It's also in Van Nuys. I don't think it's the same place, but I always get this like salted fish and fried rice combo.
Oh yeah.
That's again one of the ones that's like 4 times the size of this, and it is completely filled every time I get it, and they have to tape it closed. So it comes and you have to just like peel it off, and then you just open it and it kind of falls out a little bit because there's too much, and it takes me like 3 or 4 meals to eat.
Dude,
it's
that's
incredible.
What this kind of food is supposed to be like.
Yes, including a breakfast sandwich. Because that's the thing. Like, a breakfast sandwich is like combining a full fucking meal into a sandwich, right? Like, it needs to be a lot, right? This could have been just... You could have made an omelet with the amount of fucking eggs that are in here and put that on here. Yeah. Bro, a ham and cheese omelet sandwich? I mean, granted, that basically is just like a breakfast burrito, but...
Right, but still. Kind of sound fire.
Just a thought.
The thing with breakfast sandwiches is, like... I love breakfast, but... And not knocking this one, because this is a good one, but like, I think it's so easy. Like, there needs to be something that I can't do for me to be like, this is a fucking worthwhile breakfast sandwich, because I could fry an egg in like less than 5 minutes. Yep. Melt some cheese on it, and put a sausage patty on it, like it could be a frozen sausage patty, or like make bacon. Like, all of this could take me less than 10 minutes, and it would taste fucking amazing. So, like, there's got to be some extra thing, whether that be, like, their aioli, whether that be, like, how, like, a level of crisp and crunch that I don't really have the time to perfect. Something. For it to be like, okay, this is a worthwhile breakfast sandwich. I will continue to go back to this place, And
I'm also of like, the opinion, too, where it's just, like, sometimes you just don't want to cook for yourself. So there's something, like...
Agreed.
There's something, like, comforting in the fact that, like, you have paid somebody to prepare you a meal, right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes that, like, having somebody else prepare for you something, it would have never been near what you would have done, right?
For sure.
Because it's somebody else. Like,
right. That's their whole job. They're gonna be better at it.
So, like, that's always, like, something that I really love about, like, eating food that is prepared for me, is knowing that, like, somebody else did something and that I would never be able to do exactly what they just did. And that's, like, the cool thing about it. And that's why food is fucking awesome.
That's why I love food. Don't you love food? Anyways, that is our detailed review of the Hatch House.
It's good. If you're ever in the...
I think it's in Van Nuys. If you're ever in the Van Nuys area...
I was going to say, where are we technically? Is this Sherman Oaks?
This is Sherman Oaks.
It is, okay.
Yeah, but this restaurant's in Van Nuys. But we're also, like... Everything around here is so, like, especially when you go north, I feel like everything kind of converges. So, like, I could go, north 1 mile and then west, like, half a mile, and I'm in Van Nuys.
Yep.
Or I could go west 3 miles and still be in Sherman Oaks. Like, it's kind of weird. So, But then I could go less than a mile east and be in Studio City. Like it's all everything is so close here.
The valley is really weird.
It is.
Like my address, like on paper, what the state of California tells me my address is Woodland Hills. But like every time I put it into Google Maps, it tells me I'm in like Canoga Park.
Yeah,
and I'm like, where are the lines? Where are we? Just tell me. Google.
In my last place, Google said it was Studio City, but then the U.S. Postal Service said it was North Hollywood, and then sometimes it would say Toluca Lake. I was like, I'm definitely not in Toluca Lake, but sometimes I got mail that said Toluca Lake.
Bro, I love Toluca Lake.
Toluca Lake is great, man.
It's just so goddamn expensive.
It's expensive as fuck. You're right on the cusp of Burbank. Like, you're right near the hill. Like, oh, God, it's so expensive. It's nice, though.
We went and looked at an apartment in Glendale that was, like, the exact same price as what we have now with, like, no central air. Like, we had to pay for, like, all like, the utilities. It was, like, 300 square feet less than it. And I was just like, why is this place so fucking expensive?
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, like, the farther west and north you go, like, the more you can get bang for your buck wise. But, like, bro, it's like... You got to make sacrifices somewhere with it's crazy.
Dude,
Central Air's fucked.
So in Sherman Oaks, right off the 405 and the 101, that like crazy interchange, the Galleria.
By the Galleria, yeah.
So if you go down, you know how there's that one like on ramp onto the 101 that's just like you're driving down, and then if you turn right, you're just on the freeway. You know that? So there was an apartment on that intersection that Megan and I just went and looked at yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Really?
It was so cool.
Oh, shit.
And like the building manager was great, but it was like the building was built in like the 70s and they just like renovated it.
Sure.
So it still had like a fireplace and like the closets were really small and stuff like that. And I was like, man, I was really stoked about this just because of the wild ass location that this is.
Right.
But like,
was it loud?
No. Oh, that's surprisingly. I was like, we got it in, and I was like, listen, we are right next to the busiest freeway. Yeah. Like, and we're in one of the most like denser parts of Sherman Oaks. Yeah. Let's be conscious of like street noise. Yeah. And we walked in and we were just like, I don't hear anything.
Damn.
It was wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like the building manager was like, yeah, all the windows are like double paned and shit like that too. Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, I can not hear that. I cannot hear that.
So what was the issue with that one, or was there
it was just that it was like a little like small and like a little more like the closets were tiny, and then the showers were all, because it was 2 bathrooms and the showers were both like the closet showers. So it's like there's no, excuse me, damn, all that aioli's coming back. So like there weren't like any bathtubs, not that we like take baths often, but like there's just like closet showers in like a space where like you could easily fit a bigger one, so we were like, whatever. But it was on paper I was like, man, this place looks awesome. I'm so excited about it. We like walked out and we were both just like, I'm kind of bummed about that.
And that's the thing, you don't want to like you'll know when a place feels like good, you know. It's like you're never gonna be like, well, should I live? Yeah, I guess. But like, so what are some things if you found like the perfect apartment, but it had XYZ that you could overlook for like the perfect apartment? And what are some things that you absolutely need?
I mean, definitely parking.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to have to like find street parking every night. I've done that for like 4 years of my life here. I don't want to do that again. And like a lot of them have tandem parking, which like I don't give a shit. That's parking. That's fine. I don't care. We'll just move our cars. It's not like we go anywhere.
I know. I was like,
and so it was like, most of the time, like when we're thinking about it, like our biggest like immediate concessions are like we can overlook like the lack of a dishwasher, which like we don't want to, but we can do that.
Okay.
We've been looking at ones with in-unit washer and dryer, but like absolutely not like a must for us.
Sure.
So like if it's still just like shared laundry, whatever, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. You guys have in-unit now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like they're like full-sized ones, like that's next to each other, where like everyone that we've looked at so far has been like the stacked, which like again, fine. It does what it's supposed to do. I don't care.
Right.
But like a lot of these things are like, we want these things, and there's a lot of places that have them in our price range that we're like, okay, like let's not, like we're not really finding any place that we're going to have to concede any of these things. Right. But if we had to, these are the ones that it would be, and like those are the 2 easiest and biggest ones right away.
Sure.
I'm always looking for Ethernet ports.
Yeah.
Because for some fucking reason, places don't have them.
No, they don't.
We literally looked at a building.
It's got to be a newer building.
We looked at a building that was built in 2021, in North
what?
Hollywood that did not have Ethernet ports in the wall.
That's actually crazy.
They had phone lines, but not Ethernet.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, hey, would it be possible to like put Ethernet in here? And he was like, those are internet ports. And I was like, no. I'm like, these are phone lines. And he was just like, well, I'm not sure about that. Like, look, I'll have to check and get back to you. And I was like,
what?
What do you built this building last year?
No, that's nuts.
It was very weird. And I was like, listen, I still work from home pretty frequently. I do like a lot of stuff that requires like heavy internet usage and stuff.
You can't be
where I'm like,
wireless for that shit.
Like, I don't want to be on Wi-Fi for that. And like, I would have to run a cable from the living room into it. And I was like, and I really liked that apartment too. Like the space was really nice. It was like in like a nice little like neighborhood in North Hollywood, like right you know where your old apartment was?
Yeah. Vita?
Yeah. If you go up to Camarillo, like where that weird intersection is, take a right and then the first left, it was
really?
right there.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just like,
nice area.
yeah, it was a really nice area.
Yeah.
And it was a brand new apartment on the corner, like the cool windows and like good features and stuff like that, but just like the one thing that I was like, oh great, it's a new building and I didn't have. And I was like, what? Why?
How?
Yeah. It was
That's
very
nuts.
strange. But we liked that one. We liked the location, but we were like, it didn't feel like home. And a lot of like the layout of it, we'd have to like get rid of a lot of like some of our furniture because it just wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
Like our bed frame, the way that it works is like the bed itself sits on top of like these drawer compartments.
Oh, sure.
Right? And then the headboard gets mounted to the wall and then like things like attached to it and stuff like that. So like in the master bedroom of that apartment, there were windows along everything, so we couldn't mount that. So we'd have to get a whole new bed frame.
Windows the whole way?
Yeah, because it was like a corner, and then there were like two windows here, right, and then like one big window here. So there was just no way to put it, and I was like, why not? Why didn't you just put the other window over there? That would have made so much more sense. You also would have gotten way more light because that's the corner.
I'm fully convinced that these new building like designers just want it to look fancy and they don't actually think about the practicality. They're just like, oh, let's do it.
Yeah. The last one we looked at was like our favorite, which was like in North Hollywood in the Arts District, like right on Vineland. And it was like the master bedroom or the master bathroom had a full shower and a full tub separate. Ooh. And we were like, oh fuck, okay. And like the place was really nice, but it was like really cave-like. And I was like, the bedrooms were huge. Like we'd be able to like fully make like a dual office for the both of us, which would be dope. And then I was like, great, this is basically what we want. The washer and dryer is on the balcony. And we were like, that's not a big deal because like we can just do that. But like, why? Like I just want to know why.
Yeah.
And like the management wasn't there and we had to like call them like 4 times to get in and like they never really picked up. And then they like unlocked the doors from wherever the fuck they were, so it was like self-guided. So there was like 6 of us in these apartments just like walking around like, hi,
hey everyone, hey, you here for the tour?
Yeah.
Us too.
Yeah, we want to get this place and live here, so you can't. I guess it was just
that's so funny.
It was so interesting, but we were like, there were some cooler layouts that were like available later in the year, and since we're on month to month, we're like, let's just wait until one of those is available. Yeah. Go see it, and if we like it, then we'll go in for it because that's kind of what we want, and it's like a full $300 a month less than what we're paying currently.
That's great.
So I was like, it's walking distance from Megan's current office, and then it's 11 minutes from DreamWorks.
Damn.
So it's like
that's perfect.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And it's probably also 11 minutes from here too.
Yeah,
you know?
No, it is. Because we went from that one to one in Sherman Oaks back to North Hollywood, and it was like a 12-minute drive. Yeah. And I was like, great, love this.
It's a great spot. It's a great location, dude.
Yeah. So we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Baby steps. Yeah. It's nice that we live in a place that we really, really like, that we have month to month on, so that we can just truly take our time and find a place that we're like, yes, we like this place more than this place.
Yeah, that is nice. Having that flexibility is great. Dude.
Truly.
Fuck yeah. Well, I hope you get to move here soon, bro.
Dude, me too.
That'd be sick. It'd be great for everyone.
Yeah, like literally from like that place to 2 blocks from all of my friends. Like Griffin lives 2 minutes north.
Hell yeah.
Elise is like 2 minutes, literally 2 blocks over.
That's crazy.
Steph is 2 blocks south.
That's sick.
And then you're in Sherman Oaks, which is like a 10-minute drive.
Oh.
So like everything is together. Yeah. And I was like, this is great. And now that Megan has to go into the office like once or twice a week now, she's starting to be like, I don't want to drive an hour one way every day in my 2002 SUV with 280,000 miles on it. And I'm like, I don't want you doing that either.
Understandable.
Yeah. So we're getting there. And I'm very excited because it feels like we're actually making progress. Because the last time we started looking with like 3 of the apartments that we looked at in like one day, we were just like, we don't like these. Like there was like nothing really about, like it had everything that we wanted on paper, but like being in them, we were just like, I don't like it. I really don't like it. Like if it was out of necessity, sure, but like,
but you don't need to make a decision like you have that luxury, you know?
Right, exactly. We got there, you know. So now it's like, well, we'll just wait. Yeah, I'm not rushing anything.
I don't think this is a decision you should rush. Quite honestly, you know.
I agree.
So,
but yeah, man.
Go, Brian.
Thanks, man.
Hell yeah. What have you been up to the past? Dude, the last
like a month?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Month.
Yeah, dude. Just working on that short.
I know. It's coming along.
Which we finally hit the point where Nick and I get to actually work together on it. And so that's fun.
I'm so stoked for it. It's so well. Dude, I've watched that V2 of the Vine Cut like so many times. It's so good.
Thanks, man.
I love it.
Dude, I was like, I finished it and it was one of those things where I was like looking at it and I was like, so a way that I really like to work on things, especially when I direct them as well, is like, I know I'm going to be editing them.
Right.
So I know in my head exactly what I need to make scenes work.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, cool. I need X, Y, and Z. Let's get some flavor if we have time for it. And we didn't really have time for any of the flavor. So I was like, okay, we're gonna put it together. But I was like, I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna make the project, put all my stuff in there, make all the proxies, basically set up my project so I can sit down and just work on it from the get-go. The lovely thing of being an assistant editor where that is literally my job, like that people pay me money for. So I was like, I'm going to do this and then I'm not going to fucking touch it for like a month because I'm like, plus 2, it was like the holidays. So I was like, we're going to be traveling and stuff. And I was like, let me just fully forget what set was like. Let me just fully forget all of that energy. Yeah. So that I can sit down and just be like, these are the blocks that I got. Yeah. Let's not worry about how I thought.
What you thought you were going to get.
Take 2. But like take 2 doesn't look good as take 3, but I like take 2 more. No. Take 3 is the better one.
Right.
We got to use that
Get
one.
all that out of your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me just sit down and cut it. And so I started doing it and I was just like, God, I'm like, I really don't know if this is good. And then I got halfway through it and I was like, that last scene I cut was pretty good. I liked that. That felt good. And then I finished it and I like watched it back and I was like, is it good? Because it's like you spent so much time looking at it and thinking about it and like putting all this effort into, okay, this is what I want it to be. And it's never going to live up to what it is in your head. It's just the fact of the matter. The beauty of being an artist is that you're kind of always disappointed. Yeah. And that makes you shoot a little bit further next time. Yeah. So like you always raise the bar for yourself. Yeah. And you always just fall short of it. And like that sounds negative, but I've always thought of that as, and like I'm like a pretty like pessimistic person, I'll be honest with you. But like it's always nice because you know that you're making progress every time.
Because you move the bar and then you still don't hit that bar, but you're like, look at that last bar.
Yeah.
Like fucking
You're like floating way above that last bar and you're like, well, cool. Like because of what you learned shooting for this bar, you were way over what that one was, but like you just didn't make what you wanted. You got what you needed, but it wasn't quite what you wanted. Especially like at this level where like we don't have millions of dollars and like a 6-month shooting schedule to shoot stuff, and like most of these shorts and stuff like that you're going to find at festivals and whatnot, which we're starting to look at compiling a list of like, okay, who do we want to submit to. Most of the people who are like submitting shorts to that shot it for thousands of dollars. Oh, like, great. Like we're sitting way down here in terms of like budget and like more or less ability, right? Than like most people who are submitting to these festivals. They had a couple 100,000, or they had some of them even a couple of million. Really? And like they shot it over, a couple of months or even a couple of weeks. Like we did all of this in 3 days with like a rounding error of their budget. And like I'm like it looking at it from that perspective and like how much work we put into getting us to that point. I'm like, we fucking succeeded. Oh yeah, dude. Like I didn't hit the bar of exactly what I wanted, but I got like right here. That's what I'm happy with. Yeah. And I think everybody that I've sent it to has been like, dude, this is really good. I think you like made something really good. And I say you as like the royal you, like
sure,
the
like
team.
everyone involved. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. I'm not taking credit for this because
I think everyone knows.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Mason and I spent 8 months really kind of like writing and perfecting the story, and then like we got our DP Justin, who is just like really hit the ground running, and he was like, dude, this is genuinely more planning than I've ever done for like a project like this.
Wow.
And I was just like, well, I'm gonna be honest with you, I usually have a binder of like exactly every shot that I want that I'm checking them
You're
off.
usually way more prepared.
This is actually like, I'm kind of nervous because I didn't do as much preparation as I wanted to.
It's funny.
And I mean, dude, we showed up, and that guy was like, we had like a gaffer and an AC that were, they helped quite a bit, but like watching that guy just like running around with his like fucking camera, like just building shit the whole time, I was like, damn, okay, I'm like, we're good.
Yeah,
and like,
in good hands.
like both of our actors just really knocked it out of the park, and I think like it's just sitting back looking at it, I'm like, again, I didn't hit that bar, but like, damn, I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
and I think that's like where you need to be.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at, and I think it's pretty nice. I think it's pretty good.
And so then the process for like submitting to a festival, is it like if you you have to submit and then like, oh, maybe we'll get picked, or like how does it work? So like is it like when it's picked for a festival, is it like shown at the festival? Does the whole team go to the festival and like say, hey, talk about it, or what?
Yes and no. Okay. Depends on the size of the festival. The festival depends on what you submitted for. Usually like the shorts category is just one category. Okay. So like you go and you sit down in like the shorts hall and stuff like that, and you see a horror short, you see a drama, you see a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
There's like more specified festivals and stuff like that. Like there are specifically like horror and thriller ones. There's specifically like drama ones. There's specifically for like Latino stories. There's specific ones for like women's stories and stuff like that. There's a lot of like specific festivals that you can submit to. We're kind of right now, the thought is we're kind of looking at like, if you were to categorize them as like tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, we're looking like kind of in the tier 2, mostly tier 2. Maybe we might just be like, I'm feeling bold, let's submit to a tier 1.
Which would be what, like a Sundance or something?
I wouldn't want to do Sundance. I would probably think like maybe Sedona, which I don't necessarily think is really considered a tier 1, but like in my mind it is. I might even consider South by.
Okay.
I think that's really shooting for the stars, and I don't even think like I don't know if we would even like really stand a chance of getting in.
And
but
so,
like,
but what's the negative part of it? You have to pay to submit or something, or what?
So most of them have submission fees and stuff like that. So you pay a couple $100, it goes to them, then whatever. So like normally whenever you see like on like movie trailers and stuff like that, when it says like official selection, that means that they submitted it to that festival. The festival went, we want to show this. Selected it and then showed it at the festival. So that's always what that means.
Official selection of the Sundance Film Festival.
So like you have that, and then they have the awards that they give on top of that. So they pick 25 shorts. You got third place of the shorts, so you were an official selection and a third place of shorts.
Got it.
Festivals do it differently. A bunch of them have different like categories and different ways of scoring and or judging. But again, the point of a festival is not necessarily to judge your stuff. It's more or less, in my personal opinion, that's not necessarily the way it's looked at. A lot of people believe it is like you are exhibiting your stuff to like get money and whatnot. To me, I'm just like, hey, I think we were good enough to get in here. You know what I mean? So that's like great. That's kind of the way that I've always viewed it, of like we're just exhibiting something that we were able to make, and then the festival is gracious enough to be like,
this is great. Like,
this is good enough for us to show. That's cool. Kind of the way I look at it. But that's cool. So we'll end up, paying whatever submission fees to X number of them, and then from your first screening at a festival, I believe you have a year and a half of like a screening cycle.
Okay.
So once it is screened at a festival, a year and a half later, it can no longer be shown at festivals. Okay. So that's kind of how it is. So a lot of people will submit and like usually try to leave it like later, and like will submit and then submit it to a couple of festivals like every couple of months or something like that.
Interesting.
Festivals are on a rotating schedule, right? A lot of the times they're like earlier or later in the year around.
So that it can't be, when you're saying it can't be shown at a festival, it can't be shown at the same festival, or it can't be shown at any more festivals?
Any of them. Oh. It's like fully out. Like because, you know, at that point,
Sure.
like, it's old.
Yeah, it's old.
Like,
Yeah.
other festivals have already shown it. A lot of people have already seen it. And a lot of people who go to these festivals go to multiple of them, right?
Yeah. I got it.
And then usually, from like a bigger standpoint, when you show something at a festival, usually the only people that like go to them, especially if they're doing like press circuits, like if it's like an actual like movie, you
Right.
know, a lot of the times it's mostly just like the above the line people. So it's
Okay.
above the line is considered to be the people who are like the true decision makers of making a movie. So that's your director, your producers, typically your
Like
leading
leads,
actors, your writers, and I think that's it. If I remember correctly. I don't think, because usually that's kind of why like IATSE exists, because IATSE is basically everybody below the line
Right.
being represented
Right.
against these people who
Sure.
make millions of dollars,
Yeah.
who put up millions of dollars to make these things.
Right.
So like obviously like your investment should be protected. If you're literally coming in being like, I will give you $25 million, but like I just gave you $25 million. Like I
Right.
kind of have a lot of say in
Right,
this. So
right.
like, you know,
Right.
I get it to a degree, but that's why
Sure.
unions exist. But the like a lot of the times those are the people who would go to it. In our case, since our crew was so small, and it kind of like depends on what the festival is, like what it is that they want to show and like what they want to showcase about it. It'd be like it would kind of, in my opinion, it would like behoove us to like if because you're not necessarily like just given passes and stuff like
Right,
that, like
right.
especially for like shorts, we'd probably have to buy them, unless I actually don't know, because if we were selected, it might like they
would be
might give
different.
us, they might allow us like
4
yeah,
passes or
give
whatever.
us like a certain amount.
Yeah.
In which case it would probably be like me, Mason, and Tyler, just because like we were like the producers
Sure.
of it, and like the writer, director, and editor.
Sure.
So like it would probably just be us to go like talk and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
you know, like I wouldn't be like, no, you guys can't come if you
Right.
wouldn't. Like obviously like fucking buy a ticket, come hang with
Yeah,
us and stuff
that'd
like
be
that.
awesome.
But that's usually the thing, because most of the time it's about selling your movie. It's about
Yes, makes sense.
showing it to somebody, and then that somebody coming to you and being like, hey,
I want to find your next one or something?
Yeah, that was really good. I want to buy this.
Okay, and what does that mean?
Depends.
Okay.
Like sometimes if it's like an independent feature and you show it, and then like a distributor comes to you and they're like, we want to buy this and distribute it. So like they'd come to you, they'd buy your movie for X amount of money,
Right.
and then they would put it in theaters for a
Got
limited
it.
run or
Got
put it
it.
somewhere. Sometimes people will show up and just be like, hey, I thought that was really good. I would like to fund your next thing.
I see.
Or sometimes what happens a lot of the times with shorts, and I say a lot of the times, I mean when it happens.
When it happens, yes.
This is how it goes a lot of the times.
Right. I figured
'Cause it
it's not
doesn't
like
happen
every
very often.
short is going to be. Yeah.
No.
I get it.
Like the two that come to mind are Smile and Whiplash.
Okay.
Both of those movies were shorts that were shown
Really?
at festivals, and then somebody
adapted into a larger thing.
and somebody came to them and was like, "Hey, this was really, really good. I'll give you X amount of money to make a feature of this."
I see.
And so that's what they did. So it's like Whiplash was shown at TIFF, and it was just the scene where J.K. Simmons is like yelling at the drummer and
Yeah.
like smacking him and stuff.
Yeah.
Who was not Miles Teller. That was recast for the feature. J.K.
But
Simmons
J.K.
was in the
Simmons
short.
was in the short.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
So they recast Miles Teller in that and then did it. But that was the short. It was like
Okay.
2 or 3 minutes, and then they expanded it into that full movie, and that's what made Damien Chazelle into who he is today,
Right,
basically.
right.
So yeah, it's interesting. Like you could go and show it, and then someone can come up to you and just be like, "Hey, I just want to buy
Right.
the thing."
Right.
Someone can be like, "Hey, I will finance your next thing." Someone would be like, "Hey, I'll give you money and you can adapt this into
So
a
then
bigger
when
thing."
someone's like, I want to buy it, does that mean they own the rights, or they just own like distribution rights, or what does that mean? Like, what do they get when they buy
Depends.
it? I guess you can negotiate that.
Yeah,
Okay, I
exactly.
see.
It's very much a negotiation thing, because like especially if you make an independent feature and then you do it, a lot of the times like distributors will buy it, and then they'll just own the distribution rights for it.
Right.
Whereas like sometimes a studio will come and buy it, and then like you'll still be listed as the director or something like
Right.
that, but then they own the rights, so then
Sure.
they can then sell it to distributors and stuff like that.
Got it.
You obviously, as above the line, will get residuals, and of course this all is based off of what your contract is, what you negotiate
Sure,
for.
sure.
Because you could get nothing out of it, like you could have no residuals or something. Very seldom have I heard of that ever happening, because that's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you generally like illegal in terms of like most contracts. Or at least like the guilds won't let that happen. So like that's kind of the thing.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of options, and like one of our things is like, again, setting the bar up here of like, okay, what is our best case scenario for this short?
Yeah.
It gets into a festival. Somebody approaches us and is like, hey, we would like to make this into a feature.
Yeah.
What would you do? That's kind of in our thinking, our best case scenario.
That someone would adapt it into a like full length.
Or they would just fund us to make it into a feature.
Okay, I see.
Again, being like a first time director, I don't know if that would really happen.
Right.
Just because like it
but we're talking best case.
It does happen.
Yeah.
It does happen. I just would be concerned about someone being like, hey, go make a feature now, because like, well, I don't fucking know how to do that. I'll figure it out, but like,
that's
you better be part of this.
I would love,
So like it depends. So like our best case scenario in our thinking is that someone comes to us and is like, I will give you money for you to make this into a feature, which like we have a plan for if we were to expand this into a feature.
Because that whole backstory that you were giving me, like when we were on that call, is like, I didn't even think about that, but that makes so much sense. It ties in the whole, like that's fucking, I can totally see this.
And that's the idea, is that it would kind of be, it would be Psycho-esque, where like after the first act is like basically a full switch.
Yeah.
And then you have the rest of the movie where it's a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like our thinking about it, is like that is our best case scenario.
Yeah.
For me personally, the best case scenario is we make it into like one festival. That's all I want.
Sure.
I just want to get into one. That's it.
Yeah.
And even if I don't give a shit. I still made something pretty
cool.
great.
You made something, you're proud of it, you submitted, like that's fucking cool. That's
like the best part about it is that I made it like with my friends, and we made something that's like pretty damn good.
That's cool.
Like we weren't necessarily a professional crew.
Right.
Granted, we are a bunch of professionals in our specific
but it's not
groups.
Like this is our fucking,
exactly.
So we kind of like ragtag people together.
Yeah, and it fucking worked. I'm like, that's what I'm like most stoked about and like most proud of, is that like
awesome.
We just had an idea and we were like, hey, what are you doing this weekend?
That's so sick. That's cool. I mean, like, it is very, I'm proud of it, and I'm like barely involved at this. I mean, I will be more, but like,
hey, music is a big fucking deal.
Yeah, but I'm fucking proud of like just everything that you guys were able to do. Man.
Thanks,
it's
man.
So cool, and just like hearing you talk about it for like past 2 years at least. Like this is something that and then seeing you do it, like fucking, I'm so proud of you,
Thanks,
dude.
man.
That's so
Thanks,
cool.
buddy.
It makes me
I
happy to
appreciate
see
that.
like my friends doing shit that like makes them feel fulfilled.
Yeah,
so I love
and
that.
I think that's the thing, is that like a lot of the times, especially in fucking filmmaking, especially like even at like the highest echelon of filmmaking, studios and stuff like that, it's a fucking miracle that movies get made. It's so much like logistics, so much money, so much time and effort that goes into it.
Yeah.
And it really is kind of a meat grinder. Like at the end of the day, like you're working so many hours to make these things, but like at the end of the day, when the thing is built and it's done and you've put it in front of somebody, that is such a hard thing to do and to have happen.
Yeah.
That like it's incredible when it does. And especially at this level, where like
absolutely.
most of the time you meet some kid that got an MFA at like whatever university they went to,
right,
and they're like, I'm writing a script, and that is what they say for like 10 years. Like
writing my screenplay, I'm working on it.
Yeah, like it's just so hard to do it. It's so hard to realize a story. It's so hard to then take a realized story, fucking make it.
There's so many steps where you could just keep iterating on that one step and never advance it. I mean, because it's one, it's scary. Two, it's costly. Three, it's just like it's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, and then you sit there and you're like, well, I could just stop.
Right.
And a lot of people do. Yeah. And like, that's no fault of their own. Like they have other shit to deal with.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do. And I think that like the sheer fact that we have a few more steps until it's fully finished, but like the fact that we wrote a story, shot it, edited it, and have like a mostly finished product is crazy.
That's awesome.
Like the thing is now it's like wrapping it up and like finishing it, because
that's like the next step. But like,
because we still got like one more thing to do before we're done.
Right.
But like all of that, getting to that point, very hard. I know people that are still editing a short that they shot like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, just finish it.
Right.
just sit down.
Yeah. Just fucking do it. Bang it out.
Make some tea.
Yeah.
Sit down and just bang it out a little bit by
Don't get it right,
bit.
get it done,
Yeah.
and then you can go from there. But
sometimes done is better than perfect.
Absolutely.
You're never gonna hit that bar. Just fucking get it done.
Wrap it.
You know you've got what you need. It may not be what you want, but just finish it.
Yeah.
That's it. It's so hard.
It's fucking hard.
It's really fucking hard. I get it.
Any creative industry is just like, it's the same thing. I know friends who've been working on their debut album for 6 years. I'm like, what do you finish it?
Yeah.
You're done.
Right.
What else is there to do?
And I'm sure that's like kind of where you were sitting, maybe a couple months ago before your next album was done. Like, what do you find yourself hitting like those walls, like when you're just kind of like,
for sure.
Well, I could just not finish this.
Yeah, I'd be like, we could just make it into like 2-3 track EPs and just kind of wait, whatever. Like with our 6 solid songs, instead of pushing ourselves to write 6 more really good songs. But no, I mean, like, absolutely, all the fucking time. But it's hard. It's hard. I get it. I'm not faulting anyone for doing it because it's fucking hard. And that's, that's the
thing is like when you see people like talking about like, oh well, I could have made that. It's just like, but could you?
So
could you?
Fucking
I don't think you could.
I know.
Like at the end of the day, sure, but you didn't have the idea.
Right. Skill wise, sure. I don't doubt it. But like, there's so much more than the ability to do something that goes into a final product. So much more.
Yeah.
And the ability, quite honestly, it's like 20% of the pie.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's so much more than that. It's so much more than just like being an artist.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much more shit that goes into that. And it's like, even when we like showed up to set for the short, I was like, I don't know if we're ready to do this. We might have jumped the gun. Like I think we might. There's always a hint of like, I think we're gonna fuck this up.
Yeah.
Like I think we're going to fail.
Yeah.
But like you hit those roadblocks and you just kind of have to power through them. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the same with every step, right? You hit one of those blocks.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, well I could just stop.
Right.
But like on set, you're like surrounded by people that you are paying to be there to like finish a product.
Yeah.
That it's like, okay, well, we've hit this roadblock. We can't do this thing. What do we do to get it done?
Yeah.
And that was something that I relied heavily on with Justin, because he was just like, hey man, we don't have time to do this lighting setup to do this thing. What do you need to make that work? Do you think we have what we need to make it work? Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times I was like, listen, I really want this thing. I know we can't get that. Is there a way that we can simplify it to make it just be this? Right. So like a lot of it was us getting like some insert shots that I was like, that'll be fine. Mm-hmm. And then as I was cutting, I was like, I don't need these. I didn't even need them. I'm glad we got them. Yeah. But I didn't even need them. Yeah. And you just cut around things, and that's part of like the editing creativity. Is you get to sit back and be like, okay, cool. I don't have what I need to make this exactly what I have in my head. Right. But this is what I got. What do I do with it? Right. And that's, you piece it together and you do stuff. And that's why like a lot of the transitions in our short are like sound effects, like bleeding into it, like a lot of J cuts. Yeah. Which I fucking love J cuts. So, and that's like, you just figure it out. And I think that's kind of like the biggest thing to most like filmmakers. Mm-hmm. And I mean, any fucking form of an artist, music even, is just, you just got to figure it out.
You got to figure it out.
And you just got to, you have to figure it out and then apply whatever it is that you just figured out. Yeah. Because like you can figure it out and then just sit on it for forever. And then you never finish a project. Yeah. And then what the fuck was the point? Right. I know. You're just saying like, oh, well, I've got this project brewing. It's like, okay, but like what do you got for it?
Show it. Like, like show it and then like whatever. Maybe it falls short. Next thing. Yeah. But like, build that portfolio. Keep going. Yeah. Keep fucking, Yeah, dude. Yeah. That's what it is. It's really fucking just building your little block castle. Have things that you can look back. If even for nothing else, if for you to be like, okay, I just did that. Next thing I did. You can see your own progress. Like, for nothing. Otherwise, you're just like, I have this one thing. It's just like, go next thing. Come on.
You're probably not going to be famous. Right. I'm sorry.
No one's going to. Right.
It's to be one of these people. To be a Christopher Nolan. To be fucking an Excision. Yeah. Do you know how fucking hard and how like statistically improbable that is?
So like, improbable. It's a lot of luck. It's a lot of right place, right time. Yeah. It's
so you might as well
barely the skill.
Yeah. You might as well at that point just do it because you just want to fucking do it.
I know. Yeah.
Like you sit back.
You can't if you wait for the right moment. It's never gonna fucking happen.
You sit there. You will be waiting for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. You try to make a film. And like, sure, you don't have millions of dollars. You don't have a whole bunch of people. You don't have like people who have worked on multi-million-dollar things. You don't have $100,000 camera package.
Yeah.
Oh fucking well, man. Like at the end of the day, you just gotta do it. If you want to do it, you're gonna do it because you want to do it, not because it's gonna make you famous.
Yeah.
Because it's just not.
Then it's just I'm
sorry.
Yeah.
You might get a little bit. You might peek a little bit in there. You might get a look inside of the room, but like you're probably not gonna stay there. I'm sorry. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
You might as well just do it because you want to do it.
Exactly. Which, honestly, funnily enough, will translate to more success than if you're trying to do it for the success.
And I think you end up being happier.
Absolutely.
In the long run.
Yeah.
Like, if you're constantly trying to chase the fucking carrot dangled in front of your head, you're never going to get it. You're always going to be dissatisfied.
Yeah.
And again, I talked about that bar, right? You're always going to be a little disappointed.
Yeah.
So you might as well use that disappointment to be like, well, I bet I can fucking do it the next time.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet I can get that shot.
Yeah.
I bet I can write that song.
Right,
I bet I can do whatever.
Exactly.
You just got to do it.
You got to do it.
And that's the issue.
Yeah.
And it's fucking hard. I don't think we can understate that.
It's very hard.
Stress that enough is how fucking hard that is.
Hard. It's fucking hard.
It's fucking
hard. But hey, write it. Do it. Take the next step. Finish your project. Make that movie.
Yeah. If there's anything that we, as your lunchtime serenade friends, sitting at this table with you while you eat your lunch with us, having this conversation, if there's any wisdom that we can impart on you, it's just fucking do it.
Do it.
Nike was right, brother.
Oh my God, Nike was so right.
You just gotta do it.
You just gotta do it.
Just put us in front of a green screen. Someone roto us out, because I'm not gonna fucking do it.
Nope.
But dude, yeah, man, just do it.
Wow,
I'm like fucking amped right now.
I know, dude.
Probably
same.
the 3 shots of espresso.
It might be a little bit of the 3 shots of espresso, but that was quite the motivational speech. Bro.
Thanks.
And that's the 3rd fist bump that I've given you.
I feel good. I feel powerful.
I feel powerful.
I'm gonna fucking like Thanos snap one of these days.
Everything in your life is just gonna get done.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just done.
Everything's gonna get finished.
All of my dishes are out of the sink.
Yeah, everything.
That's it. That's all that happens. My car, the tires have a little bit more air in them. Yeah.
Your gas tank is full.
Yeah. Dude, I would love that.
That'd be
just
great.
like minor inconveniences gone. I don't need to be rich and famous. No. I don't need to be powerful. I just need my car to be full.
I want clean dishes and full gas.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah. So I can just sit on my couch like an hour longer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I need.
Exactly. All right, folks. I'm sorry to have to cut this a little bit short. Not too short.
No.
Like 10 minutes short. That's not too bad, actually.
Nick's got to go play some tennis.
I've got to go play some.
Ooh.
Oh God!
It almost happened. Has anybody in the comments below let us know if you've almost ever accidentally called 911?
I did once. Last story. So like in elementary school, and they had those landlines. You had to like dial a number in order to call out. Like dial this to call out. So I dialed. Like you have to dial 9, I think it was, or whatever. You dial 9 to get out.
Why is it 9?
It's always 9. Dial 9 to even get it. I don't even know what that means. Get out. Like what was that? What was that for? How was the fucking infrastructure of telephones created?
Because you're on like a local landline thing. You know, if you just type in like 5138, like it'll call somebody's office. So you have to get out of that. Okay, system.
You're right.
Yeah.
So I hit 9, and I remember this specifically because my friend's phone number. Why was I calling my friend from school? I can't remember.
Seared into your memory.
I can't remember the context, but his number started with 811, right? So I hit 9 to dial out, and for some reason I either missed the 8 or I didn't press it hard enough. 11 is the next digit. 911. And like I kept dialing, but for some reason it just like it went to 911 immediately. I think it's like you just dial 911 because you have to press call first, right? Like you're not pressing the number and looking at it on a screen. That's not how phones work. You would pick up the phone and dial and just fucking raw dog hope you hit the right numbers because
early 2000s.
Early 2000s. 911. I keep typing in things, but apparently
keep typing in 911.
No, I don't keep typing in 911. I typed 9 to get out, and then his number was 811-2404 or something like that. But I remember specifically the 811. Missed the 8. 11 is dialed, so it's the 3 numbers I just hit were 911. And I keep dialing the rest of the phone number, but it starts ringing immediately. I'm like, what? 911. What's your emergency? Jack?
Hey man, you want to come over and play some basketball?
Like something was God, I wish I could remember what happened, but the cops had to come to the school just because I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like they could tell it was fine, but they're like, we have to come just in case.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
make sure
This is our
everything's
job.
actually fine. They come. I was like so fucking embarrassed. It was after school. Like it was after school. It wasn't during school hours.
It would have been even funnier if it was like 11.
I know. That'd been
Like
hilarious.
you're just in class.
I think I really can't. I mean, my mom worked at the school, so I was like, I was staying there. I was doing something. I wasn't even. I might
Like
have
a
been
kids
in her
club
office.
kind of thing.
God, I'm gonna have to ask her about that because, bro, it was crazy. Cops had to come because I accidentally dialed 911.
That's so
Nuts.
funny, dude. I love like the idea of them just being like, this kid called 911 so many times we have to go.
Yeah.
Like there's something serious about it. He dialed it 8 times. But it was just you just hitting like different keys and they were just like, what is he trying to like route to? I want to know the percentage of like false 911 calls committed by kids every year.
I'm sure it's
Like how many 911 calls is just like people butt dialing them?
probably a decent amount.
Yeah,
quite
it's
honestly.
probably way higher.
Especially
than you
now
think.
that if you hold down that button,
Yeah.
it'll emergency call.
Yeah.
It's fucking. I'm sure that's happened so many times.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure. It's got to be way higher than like you think it is.
absolutely.
Like
Way
it's
higher
got to
than
be
that.
like a not significant
But-
amount of the pie chart, but like more like in a weird amount.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I think so.
like 3 to 5%.
I think so.
Like
Gotta
that.
be.
That feels like it's significant enough to like be put on the table as like its own thing.
Yeah.
But like you're still like, why?
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find that out and have that info for you next time. Thank you guys for joining us on this motivational speech. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you finish what you're doing, even if it's for nothing but your own satisfaction. This has been episode 90 of the Lunchtime Serenade, and we'll see you guys next time.
Middle of the day, middle of the week. Peace.